Hey, how'd you guys like to have a really cool website for yourself? Maybe a blog, an online store, Squarespace, an all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create a professional website, blog, portfolio, and now an online store. Squarespace introduces a new commerce solution that allows you to instantly create a store and start selling products. Squarespace Commerce provides a powerful and flexible e-commerce solution integrated to work with every Squarespace template, allowing sales for both physical and digital goods. For example, you can sell music CDs or MP3s, hardcover books, or ebooks. Squarespace has a fast merchant account setup so that you can accept payments right away via credit or debit cards. Get paid, green bills, dividends. Get it from Squarespace. Single interface for order management, tracking orders, providing customer email updates, printing, shipping labels, and adding coupons. Squarespace Commerce is included with a business plan subscription, which starts at $24 per month when you sign up for 1 year. For a free trial and 10% off for your first purchase on new accounts, go to squarespace.com/jmohr. That's squarespace.com/jmohr and use the offer code J3, Jay3, or go to fakemustache.com and click on the Squarespace banner in the More Stories page. Everything you need to create an exceptional website. eVoice is the reason you're going to make more money in 2013. When your customers call, you'll have your own toll-free number, professional greeting, dial by name directory, and more. You'll sound like a Fortune 500 and blow away your competitors. eVoice lets you give out one number that rings wherever you are. The beach, the bar, doesn't matter. You'll sound like you're at the office. You've got to go to evoice.com and use promo code Jay, J-A-Y. evoice.com, J-A-Y is the promo code. eVoice even takes all your voicemails, transcribes them, and sends to you instantly as a text or email. That's incredible. So you can check voicemails before the meeting ends and not look rude. eVoice is only $10 a month. But right now, listeners to my podcast can try eVoice free for 6 months. That's right, a 6-month free trial. Support Fake Mustache Studios. Stop what you are doing. Hit pause right now. Set up your eVoice free trial and see what I'm talking about. This is incredible. Go to evoice.com. Use the promo code JAY. That's evoice.com, promo code J. One more time. evoice.com, promo code J. Conduct business from the bar.
Oh, I love hearing from men and women in the armed forces. Dear Jay, love the podcast! ! I'm in the Air Force, stationed in Germany. I download all your shows and it helps me through the day. I just wanted to pay it back, so I ordered 3 textbooks by going to jmohr.com and clicking the Amazon banner. As I progress in my degree in history, I will continue to support you and yours and will encourage others to do so along the way. Thanks a lot, sir. Master Sergeant Mel Niffen, Ramstein Air Force Base, Germany, Flight Chief Information Systems. That, my friends, is rad. You stay home. You stay home. You stay safe, and you get your butt home, Mel. God bless you, Master Sergeant. I'd call you sir, but I know you work for a living.
Put your name on it.
Pete Holmes, we were just laughing off air. It's funny the amount of times we laugh before we actually get started. And you were saying you used to do warm-up for other shows.
Right.
And
then
I
we were talking
couldn't.
about hijacking other people's fans.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Like
Which
right
is what
now.
I did.
Yeah.
I think.
But by doing warm-up on and then I made you laugh by saying I used to do warm-up. I got it, Maddie.
For podcasts.
I did warm-ups for podcasts. I'd go, like Marin would be interviewing, Mick Cave. And I would just be like, hey, how you two guys doing in here today?
And there you go. We got to watch this.
And Marin would sniff.
Yeah.
What? And give me an odd, disdainful look.
Come on.
And I'd be like, come on, guys, ask him questions, you answer. When I say what's happening, you say good to be here. I think that joke ran its course
when
off
I say what's happening, you say good to be.
What's happening? Yeah, it should be completely off the rhythm of the clap.
That's exactly right.
When I say New York, you like the one that would work would be like, when I say New York, you say Knicks. New York.
Yeah.
When I say what's up, you say nothing much. It's good to be here. When I say what's up? Come on, Pete.
Nothing much. Good to be here.
Oh, you actually made it work.
Well,
you're like a metronome. Pete Holmes.
I'm a rapper.
The metronome. That's what they call you out in the street.
I'd love a good nickname.
The
you
metronome.
called me Petey off, Mike. Mm-hmm. I was like, I want to think about it
would I like to be known as Petey? You know what I mean? Like that one, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're Jay Mohr. There aren't too many other Jays.
JJ is the big, that's people have known me the longest for John Jr.
Okay.
and family.
Oh, you know, I think I
once
heard Joey
dated a
Roses
girl.
call you JJ.
Yeah.
Does he call you JJ?
Yes.
Joe DeRosa?
Yeah, he does.
I call him Joey Roses.
A lot of people do.
Is that true?
I call him Honey.
I'd like to think I started the Joey
I love him
Roses.
so much.
I love him to death.
Your podcast is long. I listen to a lot of your podcasts, but they're like 2.5 hours. Not a
I
detriment.
know. No. I didn't think you were shitting on
You're
it. But
way up top in the iTunes rankings, and you have a built-in great audience.
Yes.
You're on the Nerdist banner,
well,
Nerdist
yep.
Network, and you do great. You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes.
See,
And my
that's more than most people. I had.
My son,
Yes.
who's 18 months old, You Made It Weird theme song. He dances in his seat. It's like a sing-song, almost. It's so beautiful
Yes.
in its simplicity.
Yes.
Pete Holmes.
I got to say, for all the dark, weird things that we deal with on the show, because we do.
Yeah, I know.
The fact that I'm kind of like a sweetie Petey, and the fact that we have this like colorful kids theme song to it, it buffers everything out. That's actually something I'm very interested in. If I looked like, I think it's because you have a Harvey Keitel impression, but if I looked like Harvey Keitel and hosted my show, and I'm not loading you in to do it.
No, I'll drop it when you don't expect it. It'll be good. Why does every guest take the mic away from their face when they laugh?
When my laugh, you can
Everybody,
hear it.
God forbid the listeners think you're having a good time. Every single guest, right when they laugh, they put the
that
mic
right?
behind their back and
There's
they cover
no way.
it. They cover it with a muffler.
You're getting the laugh. I get a lot of shit for this laugh. It's a loud
More
laugh.
than Ryan Sickler and Bert Kreischer. Come on,
People want us to do a podcast together.
the three of you.
The three of us.
Just call it the laugh.
The laugh.
I got to ask you before we
LAFF.
start. Where is Tom Petty from?
He's from Gainesville.
Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville, Florida.
I love that bit.
Thanks,
and
man.
it's a prescient point societally.
You know, can I tell you something? The head of Google, somebody just told me that they saw the head of Google showing it to people.
Let me pick that name up for you right there.
You got it?
No, that name right there.
Because I don't know it.
Pretty heavy.
I'm dropping.
It'd be a lot lighter. If you knew the name, it'd be a lot lighter.
Yeah.
But it was a two-man job. Me and Maddie, we had to go like carrying an air conditioner out of a basement.
If the head of Google is a name drop in this town, I'm
Head
kidding.
of Google. They're in Santa Monica now, Google.
Oh, I don't even know.
They're right down the street.
Look, Jay, I'm just trying to share a little mitzvah, something I was excited about that the head of Google.
I think you
liked
should
that bit.
be.
It's an anti-Google bit. I did it on.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And you
I
know, a
think
lot of
it's-
people will see me. Am I interrupting you? I am.
No, what the fuck are you saying that for, you stupid?
I'll be Googling something and people go, "Throw, you didn't like Google. You don't like Google." And I'm like, I never said I don't like Google.
I love Google the
I love
most.
Google.
It's an anti the way human beings behave using Google improperly because Pete Holmes knows exactly how to use Google. Therefore, Google should sponsor the Pete Holmes You Made It Weird podcast.
I agree
you
with that.
fucking dope.
Jesus.
Pete's like, because I hate Google. How you like Google,
I
Pete?
love Google. We need a spot. They don't need a sponsor. Who's listening to my podcast? Like, what is this Google they speak of?
Let me tell you something about that bit that I love. It's so smart that the information, walk us through it. The information you get immediately.
You know, it's been a while. I'm going to try. It's the idea that when we don't know something, you get time, it gives it value, gives your life meaning. So if I don't know, where Tom Petty is from, then you would just walk around not knowing.
For months.
For months.
Years,
And
maybe.
Years.
And you and your
would
friends.
forget that you even cared at one point.
And you and your friends would go like, I don't know. He
You'd have
sounds southern.
debates.
He sounds southern.
Exactly. That was my whole point. I was like, his hair looks like he's from California.
But he
looks-
sounds like he's
Exactly.
Bob Dylan, but
Exactly.
southern.
Yeah, I don't
Memphis
know.
is-
Sometimes life just seems a little bit more in focus. What is that?
And when she put the roll around me. Great song.
Great song.
Probably maybe
Great
his
album.
best.
You know, on Netflix,
Here Comes
they
My
have
Girl?
a lot of these making of the albums, and that's one of them. Damn,
I think a lot of them are way overproduced and way overrated.
You mean
However,
all of his albums.
yeah. However, Here Comes My Girl is
Great
one where
song.
somebody laid off the production pedals.
Can I
and
tell you something?
They let it happen.
I agree with
I like
that.
the way she walks.
Jimmy Vivino, I believe, is the producer.
Iovine?
Iovine. What'd I say? Vivino? Who's Jimmy Vivino?
It's Petey. It's Petey Vivino.
Jimmy Vivino.
It's guy from the
is
neighborhood.
somebody.
You don't know.
Jimmy
Don't worry about it.
about it. Jimmy Vivino.
It's Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah, but Jimmy Vivino.
All right, so Tom Petty, you want to know where he's from, and without Google,
Well,
without an iPhone, you don't know.
I'm a big not liar on stage. Not that I don't exaggerate some things. I'm a big not liar.
Yeah,
on
that's
stage.
my big thing now.
Speaking of Marin, one thing, people think we're like opposites or whatever. We're pretty similar in some ways. We were in the back of the Improv recently and we're just sitting in the back. Jimmy Vivino is, of course, the fucking band leader for Conan. I'm sitting here like an idiot.
Matty Boy, pull it up. Now here, okay.
I dropped another name.
No, this is great. This feeds exactly into your bit.
Right.
Matty Boy, sound tech, barely got out of 10th grade. Smoked his kneecaps off. He just picked out an iPhone.
Yeah.
And with more technology than Neil Armstrong ever had.
Yes.
Just showed you who Jimmy Vivino was in 0.5 seconds.
Yes, exactly.
So which feeds exactly into what you're talking about.
Because I think the pleasure I felt in finding that out now is less than if we had waited and waited. Not that I'm mad at you, but if we had waited and maybe I would have realized it. I am a little mad at you. I'm just kidding. If we realized it much, much later, I think that would increase the joy that I get from that.
Yeah,
it's isolating.
It really is like a Buddhist koan almost. It's Koan. It's almost like not knowing makes you so much more sated upon receiving the knowledge. When you go months not knowing where Tom Petty is from,
right?
But you had to truncate it. I saw a set of yours on Conan, and you got to fold this bit and truncate it into this nice 2.5 minute parcel. Yeah. But it really is an incredible existential discussion that we'll do the entire hour on, and people go, "What was that?"
No, it is true. I think the point that I make in the bit, as I said before, Google. Okay, so the truth thing is that I was in bed and I did Google "Where's Tom Petty from," and like that was like my first thought. The last thing I Googled. Does Sting sleep under a pyramid? That's true. Because somebody told me.
You don't want to know the last thing I Googled. It was
what
last
is that?
night
What
on this podcast.
Was it?
Is there Siamese twin porn? And we found a message board in England, and we're going through the forum. There was no pictures or anything.
Yes.
And then we realized we were on a neo-Nazi message board.
Oh
because there was weird little eagles in the margins and stuff.
Oh,
pentagrams.
And pentagrams, yeah, like real like Masonic white people shit. And I was like, great, now that's on my computer history.
Wait.
Now when I type in S for Storm Watch, it's gonna go Siamese twin porn. That's what you're into. You want Siamese twin porn? You good?
The storm.
Where do you want them connected? What if they're connected at the vagina?
Ideally, they would be. Some sort of new third hole that you have to wedge into. Oh, no.
An ear hole. Just another one she can't keep closed, as Chuck Palahniuk once wrote.
You can't keep closed.
He wrote that in Choke.
Oh, no.
Her ear holes. Just another hole she can't keep closed.
Wow. That's well done.
He hated her so much.
That's great.
It was great.
It's really gross, though.
So you found out that Tom Petty was from Gainesville, Florida.
In bed, and it meant
in a
nothing.
moment.
So then I hypothesized in the bit that if I hadn't found that out, that maybe later that month I would see a girl wearing a Heartbreakers t-shirt. And I get so excited that she's a Tom Petty fan that I'd rush up to her, ask her where she's from. She'd tell me Florida, and I'd feel something. I'd be like so excited and lit up, like my brain would light up like the 4th of July. I'd be so excited that I found that out, and then I would marry that girl. You know what I mean?
That's how I met your mother.
That's how I met your mom.
Yeah.
I saw her wearing that shirt. But now
she knew.
We're too connected.
Tom Petty's from Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, and that's where we got married.
He's a good kid.
I wasn't expecting it.
That was the whole goddamn point. What do you mean, damn the torpedoes? What did they ever do to him? He has very thin hair.
It's a little deaf.
It's deaf, and it's a step away from Colin Quinn. People don't realize it's the exact same impression, just in a different tone. Excuse me, are you a doctor? Then you admit that your medical opinion means nothing. Say the goddamn words. Stupid.
Can I tell you, I did read your book.
I'm sorry, which one?
Do you refer to? Yeah, I was just going to say, do you have more than one book?
I have the vapors.
I read your book, Oh Load, Lawd, I Have the Vapors, which is out on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I read your book, Gasping for Airtime, when I was a youth. Not that long ago.
No, like 6 years ago, yeah.
6 years ago. And then I've never performed at Stand Up New York since without
thinking about that back corner.
Thinking about I'm making a face towards what I imagine to be the wrong back corner.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Every time.
I really thought they were back there.
I know you did. I know you did.
I was super. When I auditioned for Saturday Night Live doing stand-up comedy at Stand Up New York, I thought I saw Rob Schneider and Lorne Michaels in the back right-hand corner of the club. So after every impression, I just stared them down to let them know. It was more important for me to let them know I wasn't afraid than it was to actually do well.
Yes.
So I just kept looking
but
at
you
them.
were doing well, which is a rarefied place.
Yeah, it was weird, yeah.
When your confidence is through the roof and you're killing.
I think it breeds hate with your peers when you actually like yourself and have confidence.
I know. I get that a lot.
People are like, that guy's a dick. And other people are like, actually, I have no problem with him. It's just
Yes.
he doesn't have a hole in himself.
I think people I'm a big self-love person, which is difficult. But hear me out.
This is fascinating to me because you're the only other, like even Corolla I couldn't get to admit.
Is that right?
That like Corolla's like, nah, like Corolla kind of hints that women! Bottled water. Yeah, here's the thing. When I did construction, but you actually like yourself a lot.
I'm a huge fan of myself. I laugh at my own
Why
jokes.
shouldn't you be?
Why? What the fuck are we doing if we don't like what we're doing? Don't we become artists to create the art that we don't see?
And to get laid, yeah.
Well, Jay.
That's the fake mustache and nerdist chasm.
Yeah, me being
Don't we make art to make the art we don't see? I did it for pussy.
I don't believe you did for a second.
What? To get into the business? Well,
nobody
who's
you're
compelled
did it to
when you
Gene
first start
Simmons,
doing it.
And you are the two guys that made it that
Spade.
got into this for pussy.
David Spade.
That's later when his hair got weird.
When he turned into Ellen. when he mysteriously wore a hat for 2 years.
Somehow he made a
Totally normal. I'm just wearing a sketch with my MTV hat. That's normal. It's owned by Viacom, right?
Oh no.
Here's another thing about your Tom Petty bit that I like and I want to elaborate on because you know what Google strips us of and the immediate information that you get from looking something up on the phone. And I got so excited. Well, you have a great act because when I watch your show, it makes me do hypotheticals. Whenever you see a guy do stand-up and you go, oh my God, this would be a great tag. I wish I could meet this guy and just give him like a page of tags.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I'm not giving you tags because that would be disrespectful, but I'm just saying like, it made me think what the thing about...
Will your tags get me laid?
No. I've hoarded all the spillage and given it to my crew. You gotta talk to Hardwick.
Oh, yeah. Hardwick gets us retainers. Retainers and...
Put the levies up. Hardwick's going on stage.
He gets us shoe insults, like orthopedic insults.
You know information immediately.
Yes.
What it strips you of, and this is one thing that I was like, oh my God, Pete will love this. I got all excited, is that year of misinformation that you and your friends share that you're certain of.
Yes.
Like Tom Petty is from Plano, Texas. It's in the liner. There's a reference to Plano.
Yes.
On, Here Comes My Girl. Mary Jane's Last Dance. Like, she grew up in a little old town. Like, Plano's a tiny town. Like, it would never, like, there's that exchange of complete misinformation that you're certain of.
It's a communion that you share with your knucklehead friends where you're like, Capri Sun was invented by Danny DeVito. He didn't have a copy, had a plastic bag, he pours it in the bag. That's Capri. He made it. He made Capri Sun.
I know that, but
And then we all believe it for a year.
There's nothing. This is how you know when you've really reached another level of stand-up comedy. And Pete Holmes illustrated it perfectly. When you just say, Capri Sun. When then there's ellipses after Capri Sun, and everyone at the table is laughing. Like the whole. If you said that on stage with your crew and your crowd and my crowd, you don't even have to finish the bit.
Yeah.
That was so goddamn funny that you just said Capri Sun. You could have said anything.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
You could have said you could have said Hawaiian Punch. For God's sakes, he didn't say goddamn orange Gatorade, did he? Who knew that I was deaf? I had no idea. You don't die from Pete Holmes' wounds. It takes days. You're going to wish you were dead. All right, don't make a big deal out of it. Let the guy finish his stories, All right, let's have Colin.
Same guy.
Did you know? Does
the same guy.
Does Pete Holmes sound familiar to you, Matty Boy? His voice, his regular speaking voice?
It does. But I can't place it.
E-Trade, baby.
I was going to say Golden Girls.
I did do some Golden Girls work.
Nothing. See? See the difference?
Oh, don't do that.
No, he's not a comic.
Don't.
He's a tech guy. See the difference between my tech guy?
But that's a callback from what we were speaking about.
It is true. Before you got here, a guy said to me on an email, a very nice, that will always get a laugh, fart sounds.
They are
universal. A guy emailed me on my website very, very nicely. What are the clips in the beginning of your podcast? I play a series of, movie clips. Tom Berenger from Platoon. I'd like to hear about it, potheads. And I go, well, why don't you tell me which ones you don't know? That'll be quicker. And he goes, well, I think Look at the game tape and how you're going to be great if you don't study greatness is a Tracy Morgan sketch. But what are the other ones leading up to the Golden Girls?
There's no Golden Girls, are there?
It's Betty Davis. But you are in the chair, Blanche. But he said it like, these are the ones I know. I know this one, and I know the Golden Girls.
He didn't want to say he didn't know any of them.
What are the other ones?
And DeVito invented Capri Sun. I gotta go love the show.
I love Danny. Did you just think of that at this moment?
Oh, sure.
That's fucking great. Yeah, he was the E-Trade baby. He still is, right?
I am the E-Trade baby.
I love on Wikipedia, anybody that writes for a show, I go, I hate my, what'd you write for? I hate my teenage daughter.
Yeah.
And it goes before it got canceled. And I'm like, didn't everybody write any resume?
Yes.
Like I wrote for Action before it got canceled. Like no one wrote for anything after it got canceled.
I actually continue to write for I Hate
in
My
a
Teenage
van
Daughter.
in Topanga Canyon by yourself.
Nobody wants the scripts. I'm not getting paid.
That's a much bigger hit on your resume.
If you write after the fact.
The fact that
This guy has written over 40 episodes of I Hate My Teen. Is that really the name of the show?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I Hate My Teenage Daughter?
Yeah, that it's funny. I think
A little aggressive, Pete.
the showrunners would tell you that that's one of the reasons that it got bought because it had this kind of like edgy title. And then it was one of the reasons we got canceled was because it had this edgy title.
It didn't nothing to do with how many people watched it. Just the title. The title. Just focus grouped it out.
Well
Look,
played.
guys, we're getting more viewers than the Super Bowl.
But this title.
I don't know what to do. In fact, the E-Trade people want to put the baby commercial after our show instead of right after the Super Bowl.
Exclusively, but somehow it costs more. They can't do it.
You know, like every year after the Super Bowl, they'll put like a show that the big launch of the biggest show in the world. Like, let's put American Idol on when it first starts on after the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's how big a hit this is going to be. We need 40 million TV sets to have. How great would it be if you just put on like Homeboys in Outer Space and just hyped it up like, next, after the soup, Brent Mossberger. You see that lovely lady coming up next?
Alf. And not even the first.
Hey, Willie.
I was just tweeting.
It's not that we don't, Alf, it's not that we don't like you. It's, Max. My wife did a sitcom with Max. She did the Norm Show with Max, the father from Alf.
Didn't he have a crack cocaine problem?
He had yes, very much
sorry,
so.
I'm
No,
sorry.
my wife
know this
laughs. She
person?
says at one point on the Norm Show, her, Laurie Metcalf, Norm, Artie, and Max, no one on the cast drove. 5 people, none of them drove for 5 different reasons. She has a phobia about driving. One person's a crackhead. The other one's an alcoholic. The other person grew up in New York City. They never got a driver's. One's a fucking crazy Canadian. I don't drive, you know. I don't know. You have to take the wheel. It's getting worse and worse. You got in my head.
I'm getting more and more deaf.
Yeah. William Hurt is going to come out and sign the rest of my impression. Now that's a reference.
Can I?
Do you got it?
No. William Hurt.
Children of a Lesser God, Marley Matlin, deaf.
Still don't.
Marley Matlin won an Oscar for Children of a Lesser God. She was a deaf actress. She won the Oscar.
I have a lot of deaf jokes that I'm not doing.
And in the movie, William Hurt is like her lover, and they have arguments all the time.
Okay.
That's all. So I said, if I'm going to get more deaf, William Hurt. I guess it's not that funny if I have to explain it to a brilliant comic.
I actually think it's
But
because
William Hurt
it's
should've got
because your
nominated.
podcast doesn't have a warm-up comedian that we're not laughing.
Well, we
If
do
you
have
would
one, but he's outside smoking Newports, doing the Harlem Shake in the driveway, instead of, will you please warm us up a little, Matty boy?
You smoke Newports?
I do smoke Newports, yeah.
Interesting. I thought you were being racist towards a black man. I thought you were.
Well,
about
he's
to
very
say-
white.
Yeah, you're very white.
I see that as Colin. He's very, Will you do a little warm up for us, Matty boy? It's all terrible start.
I'm not a very
Terrible start.
warm-up.
Ask me if I'll do warm up for everybody.
All right, JJ, would you do some warm up for us, please?
That was your
I was
start.
doing Stephen Wright.
That is you doing warm-up?
Stephen Wright doing audience warm up. Ready?
In just a few moments, Kramer's gonna come out. It's gonna be amazing. If you could do everybody a big favor and not applaud when he walks into the apartment, we'll all get out of here a lot sooner.
That was almost in the middle. Where did it almost go? You know my impressions better than anybody. Oh, I just took one toe onto Eddie Vedder in the middle of that. Appreciate it if you guys don't applaud for Kramer. He lives across the hall from Jerry.
Now you're painting Laird. Did you see that Iconoclast? Good show.
Well, it's a good man. He's a toe surfer. But Pete Holmes has the podcast called You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes, and it has excellent artwork. This is due to evolution.
See, look at that. My warm-up brought us a very good bit.
Fuck yeah.
That's true. That's true.
His warm-up was amazing. Pete Holmes is here, and he's a behemoth guest.
You know what I do? I wear earphones on my podcast. It makes it a lot easier to do impressions. I'm surprised you don't.
If I hear it, I think it messes me up. Actually,
Really?
I have to feel it.
But you.
I have to
hear it so
imagine
much
the
better.
person do it. Yeah, but if I hear it, I'm conscious and I'm thinking about. It's like crying on camera. You're either thinking I'm not crying yet, or you're thinking, "Wow, I'm really crying."
Oh yeah.
And both
That's how I'm
thoughts.
with crying in life.
Yeah,
That's true.
In a
If I
relationship,
get a good cry going, I'm like, I'm doing it.
have you ever fake cried in a relationship?
No,
Yeah.
I wish I could.
That's impossible.
What am I, a
You know,
sociopath? I wish I could.
You've never been with a girlfriend who's like, you don't even understand how hard it is for me. And then she's like, wow, I really push his buttons. I didn't know I was that much of a cunt until he started crying in his own apartment in front of me.
You Costanza'd her. George Costanza did that. He would fake cry when he didn't want to get married. And that bought him 6 months. You fake cried in relationships?
I remember I hated her so bad. I knew this girl cheated on me. She was a model and she went away. It was one of those things where like,
With
I was
David
in,
Spade?
yeah, I was in way over my head and I knew it. And she would go away to
Why you
like
gotta wear a
Ibiza
hat?
for like a month and then she would come back and I'd like, and then,
She went to Ibiza for a month?
yeah, just a photo shoot, like no big deal. And then I cried for her.
Oh no.
I cried. And then looking back, maybe I should have, just left.
Well, yeah, that's what my therapist would tell you, to have some boundaries and be like that. No.
Is your therapist a man or a woman?
My therapist is a man. Dr. Gary Penn.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, he's the best. Are you You're not writing anything.
No, I'm just scoring. Do you have a Ralph's card?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Okay.
need the government knowing what
It is
I'm doing.
amazing when you go to the supermarket and they ask you, "Do you have a Ralph's card?
And you say no.
Would you like a Ralph's card?"
No.
How about you just give me your phone number and I'll give you a Ralph's card? You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like they go. I don't go to Ralph's anymore because of that. And if I do go to Ralph's, like if I'm with the baby, and I'll go to Ralph's because it's on my route. I'll go to the cashier and go, "Hi, I don't have a Ralph's card. I don't want a Ralph's card, and I do not want to talk about having a Ralph's card."
It does piss you off. I've been with you to Ralph's.
But then they go, "Well, why don't you give me your phone number?" And I'm like, "What the? I just told you a preamble before I put my Capri Sun
preambled
down.
about this.
Before I lay down the Capri Sun. I'm going to get my hearing back before the end of the show."
I'm not pulling the mic as far away. I want you
Pete
to know
Holmes,
that.
I love your bit also about adults having candy. I'm a little obsessed about. I'm obsessed with adults that chew gum, let alone candy.
I don't trust it either. Old people. You know what else? Can I add something that's not in that bit to that? I don't like old people using technology. This is not a bit. It sounds like we're launching into early morning radio. and
Well,
I'm doing
God
a bit.
forbid people should do bits and get laughs on their podcasts.
I don't do bits on podcasts.
I've heard.
I'll tell you.
I just heard you on a Top Chef podcast out of Seattle. You make the rounds.
I do make the rounds.
Pete's hitting every middle acts podcast in the country. Everybody that opens for him, like, "Hey, you want to do my podcast in the green room?" Sure.
The Type 30
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. We got about 18 minutes to turn this room over podcast.
Can I tell you one of the meanest nicknames I've ever heard? I forget who it was for, but it was this guy who just like wasn't really clicking in show business, and my friend called him the 40-year-old middle, and I was like,
Oh, that's
is
great.
the meanest thing I've ever heard in my life.
He's writing it down.
I go, you know that guy? He goes, "Oh, you mean the 40-year-old middle?" And I was like, oh, it made me sad.
Well, I called a showrunner of a show I once did. I was complaining not to keep dragging her into it, but she wrote on the show. I was complaining to my wife. I go, "The guy's a boat act. He's just a boat act," which is old. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
and my wife
no.
goes, "He's a fucking glass bottom boat act."
Wow.
And that was the one where I was like,
I actually, I met
to
a
do
guy.
comedy on a glass bottom boat. If you look beneath us, you'll see some stingrays. But hey, everybody, how fun is this island?
I'm
right, guys?
doing fish work.
I don't know if you guys
I'm going to need a
see
bigger
it.
laugh, right? I'm doing fish work.
I love
I'm
doing fish work. Look at these guys.
This isn't a school, it's a university. Look at that.
Dun, 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 dun. When I say Pete, you say Holmes. Pete, Pete.
We're happy to be here. Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna. What was I gonna tell you? Oh,
you
I
old
met a
people in
comedian.
technology. Is
I
what
met
you were gonna say.
Yes, I can do that too. But I also met a comedian on a shoot, and I bet you know. People, I was talking to somebody about this recently, where the idea that comedians that have been doing it a long time can kind of tell. They have a sense, like a lady sense, where they're just kind of like that. Girls can tell someone's a scumbag or something. Mm-hmm. Guys can tell if a comedian probably isn't funny. I've been wrong before, but you talk to somebody for 5 minutes and you're kind of like, I bet you're garbage.
Yeah, I was wrong last week.
Really?
I was very wrong last week.
Who?
Kevin Farley.
The 40-year-old middle? I was going to say that no matter who I said.
You had your riff gun loaded. You had that quill pulled. You had that thing all loaded up. And
Couldn't wait.
Yeah, it was great.
Kevin Farley. I was just in
He was
Madison,
on the
Wisconsin.
podcast, and he was a sweetheart, and we were going on and on about how hard it must be to do stand-up comedy as Chris Farley's brother, and they look like twins.
Yeah.
And he's on stage, and I said, well, why don't you come down to the Melrose Improv? I do every Tuesday at the Melrose Improv. You come up, do 10 minutes. And then I was like, hey, this is maybe I bit off more than I could chew. I was being nice.
Yeah.
He's a nice, but you know what? He is nice.
I bet
and
he
when
is.
you hit 40, you're like, as long as they're nice, I don't even care anymore.
Yes.
Just be nice.
Yes.
And he went on stage, and he was fucking hilarious.
Really?
He was and he's only been doing comedy like 2 years. So then you go from surprised to anger because you think of how bad you were 2 years in.
Well-
He's going, how come every ghost is from the 1800s? Like there's never like a guy at the end of the hall holding an iPad going, I just got killed Tuesday. Like they're always holding a lantern from like the 1700s. Like there's no ghost from like last week.
That's funny.
And it was all stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was so I was completely wrong. And I've been wrong the other way too, which I won't say their names because we'll keep it positive. But who were you wrong with? Who did you meet? Who was the 40-year-old middle? And we'll take his name out and post, or will we?
I wish I knew. I couldn't even tell, although I would withhold it if I could.
You know what? There's a lot of 40-year-old middles.
I know. That made that nickname all the meaner. And the kid that said that to me was like 24. So it's like, fuck you, man. I'm a lot closer to 40 than he is.
You're a big headliner though. You
One
do a
those
lot
big
of
headliners.
dates.
Actually, Kevin Farley is at Madison. I was just in Madison, Wisconsin, and I saw his poster. So he's going to be there.
Good. He deserves it.
He's
And
gonna-
you deserve it.
But
And
you know
here's-
what's weird is I did
Yes,
that
sir.
iPad ghost bit, so the crowd's not going to like it.
They won't remember. Totally different crowds.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not that glove. That glove gets a lot of regs. They're going to go, boo.
Regs.
Somebody else.
Whatevs.
Lesbian Val Kilmer did that bit. We don't remember who it was.
You're the
I'm
lesbian Val Kilmer.
Oh, this is fun. You don't know any of you don't know any of my stock jokes. I can use them all on you.
I know like your super smart jokes that,
Yeah,
that I
now you
obsess
just
over
have
and
my
go, this
little
is so
save
funny.
lines.
Grown-ups eating candy is amazing.
And
when I see
technology.
people chewing gum, that amazes me. Like I watched that show Gigolos on Showtime, and that guy Brace, he actually fucks with gum. He doesn't take his gum out to fuck.
That's disrespectful.
It's very
That's
disrespectful.
like that Eminem line where he says, when we fucked, I didn't even take my jewelry off. I was like, we're supposed to take our jewelry off?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I gotta take a necklace off, otherwise I chip her tooth because it swings. Unless you're wearing a choker, you gotta take. Like I gotta cross it's all the way down here.
I don't.
And you don't want Christ swinging around looking
Is
at
Jesus
Bush.
on that cross?
Yeah, and
You have to
Mary.
check.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I have to check. Jesus and Mary and
Wait, Jesus, Mary's on the cross? What new version of the story
it's a
is
charm.
this?
Look, it's a charm. It's the Third Testament.
The Third
And
Testament?
in here is one of my wife's baby teeth.
That's really
Voodoo,
unsettling.
man.
It's really unsettling. That's some
That's
Billy
voodoo.
Bob Thornton shit.
Now, how
right
come
there.
your tech guy is
It's a lady.
seems to be
Katie?
harder tech gal?
It's a tech gal.
You and I
You'll like this. You'll appreciate this.
Kissinger didn't work this hard with the Chinese to deliver Nixon
To get us together?
than you and I did to actually land this.
I know.
This is surreal that you're sitting here, and you know
It
what? I
never-
will
was
say
never
this:
gonna happen.
as advertised, you're completely fun. You're as funny as I thought. You're actually funnier than I thought.
Oh,
you're very naturally great.
I
and fun.
Farley'd you.
I can't wait to do. I can't wait to do your podcast. But do I have to do 2 hours?
Yeah.
Really? I can't just do 1 hour.
We're about.
We're
What does that
30
mean?
minutes in. What does it? What do you mean? What does it mean? Matty Boy holds up a sign that says 30 minutes, and you go, "What does that
Can
mean?"
I tell you when we
What's
get-
this code you
When we
use?
get the light on my show, 90 minutes.
90.
We get a 90
So if I do,
light.
you made it weird with Pete Holmes. I got to
get a
hang in there for
90
2
minute
hours.
light. No.
Can I do a 1 hour?
Yeah.
And then you just do. Oh, but you're bummed.
Yeah, I guess you could.
You should see Val Kilmer with a vagina's face right now. See, I took what you said.
You're breaking
I
my
mixed
heart
it
a little
up.
bit.
I took your snowball. I took a little side off of it.
On my show, we tend to talk about, it's not as, probably not as funny as this show. We tend to get into things like religion. Like I would love to talk to you about that sort of stuff. And those conversations tend to take longer.
Yes.
Is my point.
I've listened to your podcast. It's very funny. It's very effortless. It runs its course. It's not like a.
It runs long.
It runs long, but it runs its course. It's not like when no one's sitting around going, anyway. By the way, for young comics that have been doing it 2 years, if you don't want to be a 40-year-old middle, don't ever say anyway.
Or what else is going on?
I don't know, because it's not my show.
Right.
I'm an audience member. I kind of thought you knew what was going on.
What else do you want to talk about?
See,
What else is going?
Barry Katz, my manager, had the most amazing point. Hey, man. Had the best point about Stephen Wright. He's the only comic in the history of comedy.
In the history of comedy. See, I just stole your
good.
I just stole it.
There's no stealing impressions.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
All right.
Unless it's the same words.
And I do this impression now too.
No, yours is Jewish.
I just got this low.
Not the voice, just your face and shoulders. Are you Jewish?
No. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I just.
You were like, yuck.
Yuck. No. Yuck. No.
That's some more
way.
quotes. Are you Jewish? All capitals. No. Yick. Exclamation point.
I'm an honorary Jew. I can out Jew most Jews.
Are you circumcised?
Yep.
Jewish.
I'm in the covenant.
Me too.
Of course you are. You don't have to tell me you're circumcised.
I had my son circumcised when he was 2 months old, and it was by a Moyle at UCLA.
Did he bite it?
No, I wish. Hey, wait, the babies are mine. And he said, your son is the penis of a 2-year-old. And I say on stage, that's the only time that's ever been a compliment. Is on a 2-month-old when he says it. But listen.
He's the penis of a 2-year-old.
What else?
I just found out that I have the penis of a 2-year-old. It's pretty fun to do.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good exercise too, because you have to remove everything from your body.
I just have to take everything out of my body.
You do that good body that
I do it a little bit like I'm from Boston. I kind of lost it as soon as I got confident.
Powdered water.
The worst is when you see guys do impressions and they're actually doing the comedian's jokes from the person's act.
Oh, yeah.
Like if a guy's on stage doing Stephen Wright going,
I bought powdered water, but I didn't know what to add, so I threw it out.
and you're like, no, that's Stephen. That is Stephen Wright.
I'm a C-section. You can't tell, except every once in a while when I leave the house, I go out the window.
Every once in a while, I stick my head out the window and I look at the sky and I smile for satellite photos.
My favorite Stephen Wright thing in the world is he went like weird, outside of his comfort zone on his last special, which was a couple of years ago at this point, was when he goes,
I used to work at a planetarium in Toronto.
and like just that sentence alone, you're like, no, this is too bizarre. Like him working in a planetarium.
Yeah.
Like with Stephen Wright, that sentence is like the world's your oyster.
Right? Yes.
And he goes,
We had a softball team. We'd practice at night inside the planetarium. The first baseman would stand under Mercury. The second baseman would stand under Venus. The shortstop would stand under Earth. And the third baseman would stand under Mars. Like, you line them all up. He goes, but it's like, oh, you're looking at me like, what is happening? Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he goes,
then we had our first game and we lost because we were all standing way too far apart.
it was like the craziest joke that was not like one of his jokes.
Yeah.
Because he's like line. And it was this whole story about working in a planetarium, and we played other planetariums in Toronto. Like, wait, there's more than one planetarium in Toronto? It was like there was a planetarian.
You could hear all the gears
A
turning.
softball planetarium league that he created in his mind, which I love. It's just so great.
It's so weird. When you see him live, you actually fall into a rhythm where people just laugh. I'm not saying they're not laughing, but you could almost stop listening and you'll just keep laughing because he pauses and you get into this like trance almost.
He really is one of the greatest that we've ever had.
He's great.
And Barry Katz, what I was going to say real quick, we got to get back to grown-ups eating candy because it's too good of a topic.
I know.
He said he's the only comic ever that started at a 2,000-seat theater 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And has never not played 2,000-seat theaters. He never did a sitcom.
Yeah.
He never did movies. He never went to the Improv in Brea.
And where's he now?
He never.
Remember that movie?
Yeah. He won a fucking Academy Award.
You gonna let him talk to me that way? That's what he did.
He was never at Vegas. What am I supposed to say, Pete Holmes? That in Las Vegas, I'm going to be at the South Point Casino, March 16th, 17th. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Just now?
South Point Casino.
Trying to find a way to plug?
What am I supposed to be, Chris Sarandon in Dog Day Afternoon? You want to talk to him? You talk to him. He'll kill me. I'm at the South Point Casino, March 16th and 17th. Come out and see a good show. You're killing everyone around you, Leon. Babies eating candy bothers me too. It seems that urban markets, I was at Burbank Airport about to get on a plane to do a show, a quick corporate gig.
Yeah.
A black child, 1 year old. I asked, "How old is your child?"
Can I see his dick? I want to compare it to my child.
I tripped over it.
Oh, now we're going with that stereotype. Newport cigarettes, big dicks.
Brick, I think you killed a man. That escalated quickly. I said he was 1 and he had a fucking lollipop. My son is going to be 2 in a couple months.
And he's got a big dick.
He doesn't know. All he knows is what grapes taste like, watermelon, fruits. I had to pull it. I had to edit watermelon because your mind was still on fucking Newports and big dicks. You asshole. Now you're in my head.
I've infected you.
Like a goddamn virus video game. Like, have you played Plague where Pete Holmes fucks up your bit? I'm like, my son, all he knows is what watermelon tastes like. And I'm like, don't say watermelon. It's too close to Newports and big dicks. I pulled it. I
was going off 1 year old dick, not black dick.
He doesn't
clear about
my
that.
baby doesn't eat candy, and if he wants a treat, it's an actual like oatmeal cookie.
Sure.
But I've noticed a lot of
Although I have a problem with the refined sugar in the oatmeal cookie. I'd like to talk to your wife.
Okay.
I'd like to take her in the car so she associates driving with oatmeal cookies.
That's wow. You have been seeing Dr. Vinny Boombots. What was his name?
Jimmy Vivino.
Jimmy. Thank you. You're very well done. Very well.
You're so well.
I would like to take your wife home and actually have sex with her, talk about oatmeal cookies, so that whenever she thinks of cookies, she actually gets a little bit of a flow going and thinks of Pete Holmes.
What about children in horror movies? I saw Paranorman Activity too. And there was a baby there. Like they took a baby.
I see a lot of babies at the movies, which is weird because I only watch them at home on Netflix. So it's weird that I see babies sitting around my house, black babies eating lollipops at 1.
No, I didn't say a black baby.
I'm just keep putting more and more in the basket and see what it'll hold. So you walk out here, the seams bursting of comedy, Pete Holmes.
That's what we're looking for.
You Made It Weird podcast. Go to iTunes and subscribe to Pete's podcast.
That's the great thing about my podcast is if it gets weird, like it has with all these riffs that we've been doing right now.
I think so.
Everybody go, well, in a good way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Electric.
I say funny.
Engaged.
Yes.
Funny.
Electric.
Sensationalized.
Yes.
Sportscasterly.
What's your point being?
That everyone's like, that's the name of the show.
You Made It Weird.
The name of this show is
More Stories.
Oh.
My
I thought
name?
This was the mustache.
That's the name of the network.
Oh.
Like you're on Nerdist.
Yeah,
the
I was
Crab
worried.
Feast is on Fake Mustache Studios.
I was worried that you were gonna. I was actually worried that you were gonna tell me to tell stories, and I was like, I don't really have stories.
I don't give a shit what you do. Just come and have a good time is what I always say.
That's
it's like,
what I say.
You don't have to dress up. You know.
Don't dress up.
But you're a tech person.
Woman.
You and I have been trying to get this together for so long, and you're like, oh, my tech. You texted me, tech guy.
You texted
I'll
me.
show you.
You son of
tech guy.
You came in here. I can't do it.
The plan of a little boy.
Of a little boy.
You wrote it down in the back of a matchbook.
Do you have
Were you
sheets
just
to
doing
cover?
Copland?
I'm trying.
Were you really pulling Copland?
Oh, I love Copland.
A fucking Nerdist guy is pulling Copland references?
Sure.
I love it.
And I'm fingering a girl under the I'm like you guys. Yeah, you finger a girl and you watch Copland. More stories, Mustache Network. Get a tattoo of a football on your football. Fuck you. People at home are laughing. There's no way. He's laughing too. You're making a face like that wasn't funny and that was fucking great. Get a tattoo of a football on your football. This jock network. Are you drawing a 0 from me? It's a face. It's a smiley face.
I just wanted you to die for a minute out on the fucking vine.
Oh, you got my adrenaline going.
You were really afraid, like, wow, I really... I just wanted you to die.
God, I jumped off the riffing cliff, and you just you were like, we're gonna jump on 3.
I like that. I like everyone on my network talks like Dice and Gilbert Gottfried combined.
Yeah.
We're fingering chicks under the table. That's your impression of everyone on my network.
You're either
fingering
Nerdist.
chicks. Hold on, fingering chicks under the table and getting tattoos of footballs on our footballs, which I think would be drawing on a football.
It's called a tattoo because it's pigskin.
Oh, okay. You told me
swear
your
so
tech
much acid.
person
You ever do, like,
wasn't
Jay Larson?
available. I swear to God, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. Your tech person couldn't do every date that we have ever tried to do in the world.
That's true.
And then finally, you have a Hollywood studio that you shoot. Oh,
Yep.
the tech.
The
You
tech.
call your girl Katie the tech.
What do you call Matthew?
Matty boy.
Oh, Katie girl.
Hi, Katie girl.
Katie girl.
So, yeah, what is the holdup with you and your pod? If you don't think, this is the thing with podcast people, you don't realize, never knew how busy I was until you try to book guests for a podcast. And
Yes.
you trying to book guests for a podcast, you go, oh my God, I can do Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning for 1 hour. That's what I have.
Yes.
And you're like, that's all I have. Like, James Brown doesn't have shit on us. He just went out and did gigs and
Yeah.
fucking slept till noon all day.
Right.
I got new teeth. I saw James Brown when he had new teeth.
Really?
And he couldn't say you. He said, I love ooh. The entire concert, he never said yeah. It was, baby ooh. I got new teeth. I assume he had to big.
I'm only here to steal impressions from you.
Do it. Still
New deal. I love you. Oh, look at my hair. How'd I get my hair this way? Ooh, don't know.
I once saw James Brown at the House of Blues.
House of Blues.
Wait,
let's do Stephen.
I thought it was amazing that a man named Brown was performing at a House of Blues. They should have called it the House of Brown. It's not easy to write a Stephen Wright.
No,
He's
it's
smarter
not.
than us.
It's not.
Why don't you like grown-ups eating candy?
This is Stephen Wright having lunch with Stephen Wright.
Okay.
Would you pass me over the rice sandwich? I believe I ordered the rice sandwich and you
There's
got it.
2 rice sandwiches here. One of them has pastrami and the other one is tuna fish.
All right. Well, I'll give both a rye.
Well, which one am I supposed to eat? If they both go over to you, I have no sandwich.
You can have, I'll negotiate with you.
All right, you start the offer at $1 million.
$1 million for your sandwich.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm going to pay you. And it's hard to do a Stephen Wright joke.
It's hard to do a Stephen Wright joke and laugh or smile. You can have no fun doing it.
That's what sucks. I don't want to be stuck in a persona. Stephen Wright backstage could be like, hey, great to be here. Go. How you all doing? I just saw a store that was open 24 hours, but it was closing it.
Don't do his bits.
I know, but we were.
See? No, that was
He
his.
did one of his earlier.
What? Oh, as
both
the
did.
as
The
the example of
C-section
the
one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I thought I'd just do one of his bits.
I ordered a tuna fish sandwich. I said, what is this? They said, that's tuna. I said, last time I checked, tuna's not filled with mayonnaise and celery. You really caught a winner.
It's not bad.
You
I tried.
Catch a codfish, and he's like, you caught a codfish. You guys have been great. This is Stephen Wright in an open mic trying his new shit. It's not working yet. I bought some lined paper, but it wasn't lined. Something, something, something. He has no saves. He can't be like...
Yeah, nothing's lukewarm for him.
He can't. He can't just be like, I look like lesbian Val Kilmer. He can't. He has to just do the next bit.
I know what you're all thinking. What's this guy doing on stage wearing a Red Sox hat?
What am I, David Spade? I'm not going to take it off for 3 years.
You do it good. You do it good.
Well, I can mimic. I'm pretty good at mimic, especially if I'm listening to you. That's why I think stealing impressions is a
Jane's
tricky
Addiction
thing.
wrote Been Caught Stealing about you. I don't know if you know. It's in the liner notes, man.
You know what?
And they're from Gainesville, Florida.
You son of a bitch. Like I
say that all the
I've
time.
never said this, but my Morgan Freeman is because I heard someone else do Morgan Freeman.
Good old Andy.
Andy Dufresne. I'd like to say the sisters didn't rape Andy that day. You know what I mean?
Swam through a river of shit, came out the other side. There's Matty Boy with a sign that says 45 minutes, we've gone.
Matty holds up a sign that says we have 45 minutes. And then 2 penguins, 69 in the distance. Beautiful mother. You're leaving me to riff, aren't you?
I'm into it. You had my I was completely into it.
The less I know, Mr. Wayne, I don't have to lie when they ask me. It's from The Dark Knight.
That baby has the penis of a 2-year-old.
I saw that baby's dick glistening in the sun. Because it was wet from when I went down on that baby. Oh no! More again.
You made it
More
weird
again
with Pete Holmes.
Well, he did. He's dating
Morgan
his
Freeman
granddaughter.
did take it too far. It's weird. You didn't. It's weird that
I will do that all the time. I like to separate myself from my brain all the time because people have thoughts that are terrible all the time.
All right, you know what? I don't give a shit about grown-ups eating candy. If you don't, I don't. We'll just fucking do impressions all day.
All right. I was thinking. I bet you have a great Pacino, so I have to do it first.
My Pacino is not very good.
Well, he's deaf.
You relax. Oh, you think
It's
I'm
a little
deaf?
like your Schwarzenegger.
You motherfucker. I am not deaf. I hear. I can smell pussy. That's what Scent of a Woman is about. Fuck you. Right?
Pete, I think you got it all wrong.
See, oh,
Every once in a while, you got to lift your eyebrows up and look around. There's many things.
that's right.
Who are you? You're a cunt.
Oh, I'm going to have your job, shithead.
Oh,
You're going to come into my house. You're going to come do my podcast.
I believe this is my garage.
I believe it's my house now.
God is an absentee landlord, Pete. I sound like a jazz man.
You're doing that Southern Scent of a Woman one.
I used to sound like Tyne Daly from Cagney and Lacey. If you watch Dog Day Afternoon,
Day
I go, what's
Afternoon.
under the desk? A squirrel? What is this? We're
It's
Vietnam veterans. We don't mind killing.
Al Pacino, it's me.
And right around it, why does your whole body shake when you do young
I just
Pacino?
got to. It's me, Al. Meow Pacino. This is my cat.
Attica!
This is my cat, Meow Pacino.
I don't like the dry food no more. I'd appreciate if you got some fancy feast. Fancy feast, Attica. This guy wants to pet me so bad he can taste it. Put the brush down.
You stupid fucking cunt.
That's a cat saying it.
You
I
idiot.
sit here on a window,
Oh, that's good.
and I get sunshine on my body.
Oh, that is
Oh
really
my
good.
God, what do you want me to do?
What am I going to do?
See, you've harnessed the high Pacino.
There is. Me and
Harley
Ralph
Davidson.
Garman had this impression,
GPS
discussion. Yes, we had this discussion of every impression. There's one thing you got to be able to hang your hat. There's one
The
hook-
touchstone.
Yeah, there's one nail in the wall that no matter where you go,
Yes.
like with Pacino, it's that's the hook.
Oh, there you
no
go.
matter how far you go, no matter where you are,
Yes.
you can hang your coat on that nail in the wall that goes.
Yeah. I have a list in my phone, which is the impression and then the touchdown.
No, you don't.
I do.
Let me see it.
I don't.
What's
I
the
haven't
touchdown for
looked
Schwarzenegger?
up.
Tongue way back. That bit you do on your website of
You know,
accent be gone or whatever.
Axagon. You know, if I,
Were you doing for Matty Boy? Make Billy you doing the commercial.
I've done it live because sometimes, and that was always my dream.
Well, now do it for 250,000 people on the Jay Mohr Stories podcast.
Is that how many people listen to the show?
I dialed it back a little because I don't want you to feel small. But sometimes you're ahead of me on the iTunes charts, and I'm like,
That's
what the fuck?
That's got to be because it's based on new listeners or something. So you already
More
have.
Stories. Go to iTunes, leave a comment, and say, what should the comment be?
I really liked it when he said Meow Pacino.
Meow Pacino is the comment.
Meow Pacino.
Meow Pacino. Give Matty Boy a little
So what it is he goes, it's
Axagon?
me, and I go, hi, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're probably wondering, where's my thick Austrian accent? It's gone. Thanks to Axagon, the accent eliminating spray. It's terminated. One thing you need to know. Hold on. Just give me one.
Cut,
hold on.
cut,
I got it. Just,
No, you
just
just
keep
did.
rolling.
Oh, we go again.
Just keep rolling.
All right, just keep rolling.
don't
You
know
got? You
what you're-
okay?
I feel. I just want to do it again.
All right, let's go. Action.
Hi, I'm Arnold.
Cut.
What? Hold. I got to get into.
You don't
a
hear
rhythm.
that? You don't hear what you're doing? It sounds like you have an Austrian accent in bits and pieces. It's coming out. You have an Austrian
No,
accent.
I don't. I'm using.
Right there. Freeze it.
No,
Freeze it. Freeze yourself right there. Maybe could you use it right
Mr.
now?
Freeze. I played Mr. Freeze. Maybe I could do something.
Love the way this sounds.
Mr. Freeze. My wife.
Do you really have a touchstone thing in your phone?
Yeah, I wonder if I do.
How many impressions do you do? I didn't know you did so many impressions. You're very good at them. Pete
Everybody says you come on my show and we do impressions, and then you know what? You have a lot more listeners than me, so this is much better business.
Holmes. You know it's really bad business? Sitting around looking at your phone in the middle of a podcast.
You told me to get the.
I didn't know you had a 15-digit fucking password.
I'm looking at
Serrano's
the
got the
impressions.
discs. Serrano's got the discs.
I'm trying to. I would never.
Do you do walking?
I know you do, and I want to steal it from you.
I wasn't fucking setting myself up. I was genuinely
I'm going to lift my friend Andy Haynes. You should look him up. Haynes has this great bit where he goes, I can only do Christopher Walken saying one thing. And he goes, Google Docs.
Google Docs.
Google Docs.
The secret to Walken.
Google Docs.
Let me tell you, Pete Holmes, great impressionist. 'Cause you do good Pacino and you do very good impressions. If you want to grade anybody's Walken impression,
Yes.
they have to be able to go down into the whisper. Otherwise, toss it out.
Oh, I love it.
Because everybody does this up here, Pete Holmes.
He takes the watch, he puts it up his ass.
And every one syllable word is 2
Word?
syllables.
You take it.
No.
No.
But you can't be afraid. You gotta go and do it down here.
You gotta do it down here.
My son bought me a Cadillac. I think that calls for a toast. I would like more water.
I would like
This watch. Even in that monologue, this watch. You know, it's too bad that, and it's not too bad because it's perfect, but I love Walken when because he's become kind of funny.
Yes.
But people don't realize, like, when you watch The Deer Hunter, how gorgeous he was, physically, beautifully, aesthetically pleasing.
High cheek.
Gorgeous man. And what an incredible actor he was. And in that speech, he nails it so hard. And I almost felt like Tarantino cheapened the speech by having the watch in the ass. That's all anyone knows from that speech.
I agree.
But that speech, the lineage of where that watch, your great-great-great-grandfather
Yeah.
was given this watch by his wife before he went to work
Yeah.
in the War of 1812. And the French, they drove them out of the French Quarter. And it just goes on and on. And like, then your father in Vietnam. And he hid this watch in his ass. And that's all anyone knows from that speech. But I think it really takes away from what a great writer Quentin Tarantino is. That speech is alarmingly beautiful and perfect.
I agree. And he dies of dysentery, which is kind of a poop joke. You know, he's saying
knew there was no way. Those gooks were
gooks.
I asked Christopher Walken on the set of Suicide Kings. Absolute true story. What was the worst part of filming The Deer Hunter? And he's taped to a chair. He can't move. In our movie, Suicide Kings, he can only move his head, and he goes, the slopes. He's not kidding.
The slopes.
They're filthy. They're animals. They're passionate expecticators.
Oh
and I didn't know what that meant because I was drunk.
What does it mean?
Spinning. Expecticate. Expector. And he goes, you'll be doing a scene, you know, you're up to your waist in water. And a guy holding a bounce card goes, oh, I'm here. And they're like, action. And I'm like, now you got to go act with this guy. And he just dropped that in your lap. And you're like,
my God. What? That's horrible.
Give me some button hooks here.
Cleveland from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, that's nasty. Oh, hey, Peter.
But what's the hook? What's
the hook is, that's nasty.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt from work, Seinfeld stealing.
Matt from what?
Some of
You're
these
doing
are
guys you
people
used to play
I know.
wiffle ball with in the neighborhood.
Some of these this is a guy that I worked with. Lunch is here?
You know what?
He was a writer's
Look,
assistant that would
between
come in the
Barry
room.
Katz and Colin Quinn, I'm like, if these guys would just get more famous, I would have 20 new minutes of material.
Yes, Alan Rickman. This one, it says Romano plus Patrick Stewart. That's what it says.
All right.
I'm
Let's hear you, Ray Romano.
Oh, yeah. I love the Nets, the Mets, and the Jets. You know,
That's the O.
Yeah.
What's the hook?
It's that's
Yeah,
the
okay,
hook.
good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have two twins.
Well, Vietnam veterans, we don't mind killing.
Oh,
It's the
men of a
same hook.
certain age.
That show is great.
It was a great show.
Oh, you ruined it.
Why don't you watch my show?
It's Angry Romano. I don't know why I did it right to Matthew.
It's a little Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld's similar.
Usually I'm
touchstone.
all over you. Usually I blanket you in positivity. I didn't hear that at all.
Well, it's also New York a little bit.
Jerry Seinfeld, what is the deal when very few of my jokes are actually funny?
You have a joke. You say it on stage. People don't laugh. Not a joke. It's not a joke, Chris.
You talk about a guy with a rhythm where the audience just
yeah.
laughs when they're supposed. Like if you did Jerry Seinfeld's exact act
Yes.
from a young comedian special,
Yeah.
you would die 1,000 deaths.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. The words.
If you just went on stage and go, I do my laundry and there's a sock missing.
Yeah.
Where's the sock?
Right.
Where's the sock?
Where is this? Huh?
What is going on? Guys are walking around in flip-flops.
Flipping and flop. You flip, you flop. If this guy wants to go on, he's flipping and flopping.
Now I hear the Ray Romano, so now you're right.
Oh! Well, there's so Alan.
Who are your favorite comedians?
I love Brian Regan a lot. I can't actually listen to him because I rip him off so much.
Who else?
Do you have anybody like that?
Matt?
The big yellow one is the sun.
I do a bit about man caves when guys brag about their man caves and
Yeah.
how they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
And I realized one night I go, I don't know why I said that like Brian Regan.
Yeah.
Cause I go like, guys go, hey, let me show you my man cave. And I go, don't say that to me.
Yeah.
Cause what I hear is, this is all I have. I've been squeezed out of my house. She has everything, but she let me have this little playroom. If I'm a good boy and pick up my Legos, we can watch 2 games in a row. I don't know why I said that like Brian Regan.
I can watch 2 games in a row.
I can hang laundry on the wall. It's got a number on it.
It's got a number. It's a jersey.
Whoa, that is fucking awesome. Holy shit. You fucked my head up, dude.
This is a great moment.
That was
for me.
amazing, Brian Regan. No one does that version of Brian Regan.
What that?
The when he goes,
It's got a number.
it's a cup of dirt.
It's a cup of dirt. You should move on now.
I know there's 2 T's.
Win in a skirmish. We had the gold unit.
Moosin.
6 many much moosin.
I love in his bit.
Box.
The smart kid in his class is actually called like Myron. Like he's like the most brilliant joke writer, but then it goes, then there's always that smart kid like Myron, spell, what's the plural of moose?
Yeah.
Moose. There were many moose. Like just Myron. Like he doesn't even come up with
Have you ever done Comics Unleashed with Myron?
Byron. Have you?
Oh, we haven't. No, I haven't. Patrick Stewart is kind of, her clothes fall off instantly. You know what I mean?
But that is Alan Rickman.
No, Alan Rickman is more of a Alan. You have to quote my friend Nick Kroll. You have to sound like you just
You're
drank.
not friends with Nick Kroll.
I love Nick Kroll.
That's impossible.
We're good chums.
That's impossible.
Known him for a decade.
You're not friends with Nick Kroll.
Why? Because he's like a cold person.
No, because of what he said about you here.
Oh, he shit on me. Well, he texted me afterwards and said I shit on you. What, he make fun of my laugh or something?
Why are you lying?
What? Which
Nick
part?
Kroll is never here.
Well, he texts me sometimes and says I just shit on you on a podcast.
On Jay Moore's
He
podcast?
didn't say that.
But I caught you in a lie.
You caught me in assuming that
You
the podcast
just
shit
made
on
this
me.
that was mine. I said he was here and shit on you, and you go, yeah, but he texted me right afterwards and said I just shit on you.
All I'm doing is filling in blanks, assuming it was his. I would tell you if I was lying. He
All right.
texts me all the time and was like, I want you to know I shit on you on this podcast. Now,
All right,
back
so
to
you've
Alan
read Nick
Rickman.
Kroll.
He says you have to drink a glass of milk to do Alan Rickman properly. And be like, going somewhere, Mr. Potter. You know what I mean? It's very,
All I care about.
yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Bruce Willis sounds just like Demi Moore, pal. Demi Moore sounds just like Bruce Willis. Yeah, I got a divorce, but that's personal. Welcome to the party, pal. Nobody realized I got a nose like a little hawk.
The cowboy. Going, you have magic.
Fucking adults eating candy, you
from me,
asshole.
Miss, all I want to do is impressions with you all day.
Oh, that's fine.
Jay Larson, who's on here, and my Jay Larson and my Mark Wahlberg are very similar.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? It's me, Jay Larson.
How you doing, kid?
It's yeah. See, he's
Say
a
hi
little
to your
bit
mother
lower.
for me, all right?
Say hi to your. I wish they hadn't done that. You know, I was working on that impression. We were going to do a sketch, and then I don't watch SNL, and I don't not watch it. I just don't really watch a lot of TV. Turn it on, and it's in a hotel, and the screen was black, and I heard Sandberg going, "Hey, say hi to your mother for me," and I was like, "Fuck."
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's a perfect
You
impression.
don't need to do it anymore.
No,
we're
it's
all
done.
done with it.
He actually did one impression of Mark Wahlberg and took it out of the lexicon. Like,
Yeah.
it's done.
Hey, how's it going?
Like landed on the moon. We're good. We did that, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a big shite. You want to see my big cock? He's got a really high voice.
I could come again. It's not a big deal.
Sweetie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. If you want, I can come inside you.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, Phil Hoffman.
I was doing Scotty.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking
My
idiot.
Phil Hoffman.
Personally, Louis Guzman was the best part of that whole movie, bro. Personally, I thought Cagney and Leahy were secretaries.
I like doing Phil Hoffman from Mission Impossible 3, which no one does, which is,
Because no one saw it.
I know, it's a great movie.
Really?
Oh, it's like a perfect action movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman's the villain. It's great.
Well,
It's
let's hear it.
fantastic. He goes, it's one of those ones you have to start with the fat breath.
Yeah.
Do you have a wife? That's it.
That's great. right, let's do video. We're going to do video of you doing Philip Seymour Hoffman. Any face. I'll do Andrew McCarthy for you.
Okay.
We have, we're starting a YouTube thing. It's youtube.com/morestoriesballs. Pete Holmes is going to do Philip Seymour Hoffman with a face. I'll do Andrew McCarthy. We'll do all face impressions.
Face impressions.
De Niro you do, right?
Yeah, I can do a little De Niro.
But it's face.
It's
You need the
mostly face.
All right, Pete Holmes, thank you for coming to More Stories.
This was my pleasure. You got to come make it weird. As
I will. I don't know. I can't hang for 2 hours because I have children, and that would make me a negligent parent. But I tell you one thing: I'll give you 2 hours worth of comedy in 1 hour.
All right.
As Buddy Hackett once said, "Oh, to be a Nagasaki where the women chew tobacco and the men say woo, wacky woo."
Is that how you end the show?
This time, I guess. How would you like me to end
I
it?
just want you to end the show like Steven Wright.
That's one thing about a podcast is you never know when it's over until Pete Holmes' exit music starts.